What if I told you that archaeologists discovered a 50,000-year-old bracelet made with technology that shouldn't have existed for another 30,000 years? This ancient jewelry was found in a Siberian cave that rewrites everything we thought we knew about human evolution. In the next 18 minutes, I'll show you evidence that 3 different human species lived in one cave, and one of them possessed technological abilities that challenge our entire understanding of the past. Welcome back to the Artifacts Detective. I'm your host, and today we're investigating one of the most controversial archaeological discoveries of the 21st century. Deep in Russia's Altai Mountains, 150 kilometers south of Barnaul, sits Denisova Cave. The cave entrance opens 28 meters above the Anui River, carved into Silurian limestone over millennia. Inside, 3 galleries, the main chamber, East Gallery, and South Gallery, contain over 20 distinct archaeological layers spanning nearly 300,000 years of human occupation. For decades, it was just another archaeological site. Russian scientists had been excavating here since the 1970s, finding stone tools and animal bones. Then, in 2008, everything changed. What makes this discovery revolutionary? This cave preserved evidence of 3 human species: Denisovans, Neanderthals, and Homo sapiens, all living at the same site over hundreds of thousands of years. The cave's unique conditions, maintaining a constant temperature near freezing, created perfect preservation for ancient DNA, allowing scientists to extract genetic material not just from bones, but from the soil itself. But that's not the shocking part. The shocking part is what they left behind. Artifacts so advanced, they shouldn't exist. Today, we'll examine the archaeological evidence confirming 3 species lived here, the impossible artifacts that defy conventional dating, why these discoveries challenge everything about human evolution. Let's dive into the investigation. The first question any detective asks: who was here and when? DNA analysis from 728 sediment samples reveals a precise timeline. According to research published in Nature in 2021, scientists developed a revolutionary technique to extract mitochondrial DNA directly from cave sediments. This breakthrough allowed them to track human occupation, even where no bones survived. The results were extraordinary. Denisovans arrived first, approximately 250,000 years ago. They occupied the cave during both warm and cold periods, surviving dramatic climate shifts that would have challenged any human population. Neanderthals appeared around 170,000 to 200,000 years ago. The data shows they preferred warmer periods, particularly during the last interglacial around 120,000 years ago. Modern humans, our species, arrived last, about 45,000 years ago. Here's where it gets extraordinary. DNA from soil dated to 45,000 years ago contains genetic material from all 3 species. They didn't just use the same cave across millennia, they may have overlapped. The sediment evidence suggests possible encounters, though scientists debate whether they actually met face to face or missed each other by decades or centuries. Let me show you how this discovery unfolded. In 2008, Russian archaeologists working in the cave's East Gallery made a routine find, or so they thought. In layer 11, approximately 11 meters below the current surface, they discovered a tiny finger bone. The fragment was so small it could fit on a fingernail, measuring just 30 millimeters in length. The bone belonged to a young girl who lived approximately 41,000 years ago. The team, led by archaeologist Michael Shunkoff, sent the specimen to the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany. There, in one of the world's most advanced ancient DNA laboratories, scientists prepared to extract genetic material. When scientists at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology analyzed the DNA, they expected to find either Neanderthal or modern human genetics. The cave had already yielded Neanderthal remains, and the age suggested it could be either species. They found neither. Dr. Svante Pääbo's team had discovered an entirely new human species, the Denisovans, named after the cave where they were found. The mitochondrial DNA differed from modern humans and Neanderthals by nearly twice as many base pairs as those two species differed from each other. This was a separate branch of humanity, unknown to science until that moment. But the real mystery was yet to come. This is where our investigation takes an unexpected turn. In the same layer where Denisovan remains were found, archaeologists discovered two fragments of a bracelet made from dark green chlorite, a rare stone whose nearest source is 200 kilometers away. The bracelet measures width 27 millimeters, thickness 9 millimeters, estimated complete diameter 70 millimeters. But here's what makes it impossible. The bracelet has a perfectly drilled hole, 8 millimeters in diameter. According to Dr. Anatoly Derevianko from the Russian Academy of Sciences, the speed of rotation of the drill was rather high, fluctuations minimal. This indicates what archaeologists call two-sided fast stationary drilling. Essentially, a high-speed drill that maintains perfect stability. The problem? This technology shouldn't appear in the archaeological record for another 30,000 years during the Neolithic period. All other known Paleolithic drilling shows signs of slow rotation and drill vibration. This bracelet shows neither. The hole's interior walls are smooth, almost polished, indicating a drilling speed and precision that modern archaeologists struggle to replicate using Stone Age tools. Dr. Derevianko's team published their findings in the journal Archaeology, Ethnology, and Anthropology of Eurasia, stating, "This constitutes unique evidence of an unexpectedly early employment of two-sided fast stationary drilling during the early Upper Paleolithic." The bracelet also shows evidence of careful polishing. Microscopic analysis revealed it was polished using leather treated with tannins, giving it a lustrous finish that would have caught firelight dramatically. Reconstruction experiments suggest the complete bracelet would have been stunning. Shimmering green in sunlight, casting deep emerald shadows by firelight. Someone invested enormous time and skill creating this piece. This wasn't everyday wear. It was special, possibly ceremonial, indicating complex social structures and aesthetic appreciation. Next, we have this perfectly preserved sewing needle, crafted from bird bone. Professor Mikhail Shunkov, head of the Institute of Archaeology and Ethnography in Novosibirsk, stated, "As of today, it is the most ancient needle in the world. It is about 50,000 years old." The needle measures length 7 centimeters, eye diameter less than 1 millimeter. Creating an eye this small requires extraordinary precision. The nearest comparable needles appear 10,000 years later. In 2019, archaeologists made another stunning discovery: a 45,000-year-old figurine carved from woolly mammoth ivory. The figurine depicts a cave lion in motion, measuring length 42 millimeters, width 8 millimeters, height 11 millimeters. 18 rows of decorative notches cover the lion's body. After carving, the artist painted it with red ochre. Here's the remarkable part. The mammoth ivory came from at least 100 kilometers away. Someone carried this precious material across the Siberian landscape specifically to create this art. Archaeologists also discovered beads made from ostrich eggshells, each less than 1 centimeter in diameter with precisely drilled holes. Researcher Maxim Kozlikin noted, "The ostrich eggshell is quite robust material, but the holes in the beads must have been made with a fine stone drill." The nearest ostriches, either imported from Transbaikal or Mongolia, hundreds of kilometers away. Now, we reach the heart of the mystery. Initial radiocarbon dating placed these artifacts at 40,000 to 50,000 years old, but that already seemed impossible given their sophistication. Radiocarbon dating has limits. It becomes less reliable beyond 50,000 years, right at the edge of these artifacts' age. Then, the plot thickened. Scientists from Russia, the UK, and Australia began re-examining the dates using multiple techniques. They employed oxygen isotopic analysis of the surrounding soil, studying the ratios of oxygen isotopes that change predictably over time. They also used thermoluminescence dating on the sediments, measuring when quartz grains were last exposed to sunlight. Their preliminary findings suggest these artifacts could be 65,000 to 70,000 years old. The soil around the bracelet was, according to researchers, uncontaminated by human interference from a later period. Microscopic analysis showed no evidence of rodent burrows, root intrusions, or other disturbances that could have moved artifacts between layers. Russian scientist Dr. Anatoly Derevianko emphasized, 2 fragments of the bracelet were found in the same layer, 75 centimeters apart, suggesting they broke in antiquity and remained undisturbed. If confirmed, this pushes the date back by another 20,000 to 30,000 years, making these technologies appear impossibly early in human prehistory. At 70,000 years ago, modern humans had barely left Africa. Neanderthals were making basic tools, yet someone in Denisova Cave was creating jewelry that wouldn't be matched for millennia. This question divides the archaeological community. Modern humans were in Asia by 45,000 years ago. Some argue they made these sophisticated items. But here's the problem. No modern human fossils have been found in Denisova Cave from this period. No modern human DNA appears in the sediments where these artifacts were discovered. Professor Tom Hyam from Oxford University stated, "It could be modern humans, but the most parsimonious explanation for the moment is that it's Denisovans." The artifacts were found in layers containing Denisovan remains, particularly layer 11, where most discoveries occurred. If Denisovans made these objects, it revolutionizes our understanding of human cognitive evolution. As if this wasn't enough, the cave yielded one more surprise. In 2018, scientists analyzed a small bone fragment and discovered it belonged to a teenage girl with a Neanderthal mother and a Denisovan father, nicknamed Denny. This 90,000-year-old bone proved that different human species didn't just coexist, they interbred, producing viable offspring. The genetic analysis showed her Denisovan father himself had Neanderthal ancestry from 300 to 600 generations earlier, revealing multiple instances of interbreeding between species. Let's recap what we've learned. First, DNA evidence confirms 3 human species occupy Denisova Cave. Denisovans from 250,000 years ago, Neanderthals from 170,000 years ago, and modern humans from 45,000 years ago. Second, the cave contains artifacts displaying technology that shouldn't exist for tens of thousands of years. High-speed drilling, precision needlemaking, and long-distance material transport. Third, these artifacts may be even older than initially thought, possibly dating to 65,000 to 70,000 years ago. This discovery challenges fundamental assumptions about human evolution and technological development. Dr. Katerina Duka from the Max Planck Institute noted, "The suggestion Denisovans developed the upper Paleolithic artifacts at the site bears on a hot topic in paleoanthropology, the origins of modern behavior and cognition." If Denisovans created these artifacts, they possessed cognitive abilities equal to or exceeding contemporary Homo sapiens. They weren't primitive, they were innovative, artistic, and technologically sophisticated. Let me show you how archaeologists verified these extraordinary claims. The 2021 Nature study analyzed 728 sediment samples using cutting-edge techniques. Scientists can now extract mitochondrial DNA from soil where bones have long since decomposed. Dr. Elena Zavala and her team at the Max Planck Institute used this method to create a timeline spanning 300,000 years without needing fossil remains. 3 separate dating methods confirmed the timeline. Radiocarbon dating for specimens up to 50,000 years old. Optical dating for older sediments using light-stimulated luminescence. Uranium series dating for specific bone fragments. Professor Zenobia Jacobs from the University of Wollongong explained, "This new chronology for Denisova Cave provides a timeline for the wealth of data generated by our Russian colleagues. Every artifact's position matters. The chlorite bracelet, bone needle, and other items were found in layer 11, the same stratum containing multiple Denisovan fossils. Russian archaeologists meticulously documented each find's exact location, depth, and surrounding materials. This context proves these weren't later intrusions, but contemporary with the Denisovan occupation." Dr. Anatoly Derevyanko's team conducted extensive use-wear analysis on the chlorite bracelet. Under microscopic examination, they identified grinding marks from various abrasives, including coarse sandstone for initial shaping and fine-grained materials for finishing. Polishing traces consistent with leather treatment, showing directional patterns indicating methodical technique. Drilling signatures unique in the Paleolithic record, with perfectly circular boreholes lacking the elliptical distortion common in hand drilling. The drill holes show no oscillation marks, indicating a perfectly stable, high-speed rotation. Modern experimental archaeology cannot replicate this using presumed Paleolithic tools. Professor Pavel Volkov, a specialist in ancient technologies, attempted to recreate the drilling technique using authentic Stone Age tools. Even with modern knowledge, he couldn't achieve the same precision. He concluded, "The speed of rotation must have been very high, with minimal fluctuation. This suggests a mechanical drilling technique, possibly using a bow drill or even more advanced technology." The bracelet's raw material adds another layer of mystery. Chlorite doesn't occur naturally near Denisova Cave. Geological surveys identified the nearest source 200 kilometers away in the Altai foothills. The specific variety, a deep green chloritolite, is even rarer, suggesting the makers either traveled great distances or participated in long-distance trade networks. These artifacts reveal extensive networks: chlorite source 200 kilometers away, mammoth ivory 100 plus kilometers from northern Altai foothills, ostrich eggshells, possibly from Mongolia or Transbaikal region. This suggests sophisticated planning, long-distance travel, and possibly trade networks we didn't know existed in the Paleolithic. To understand why these artifacts seem impossible, consider comparable items from other sites. The nearest technologically similar bracelets appear in Anatolia, 30,000 years later. Precision drilling like this doesn't appear elsewhere until the Neolithic Revolution. The bone needle predates the next oldest by 10,000 years. Dr. Alexander Fedorchenko noted, "By the style it was made, the Denisovan cave lion doesn't resemble anything previously found in the world." These discoveries coincide with a revolution in ancient DNA analysis. Since 2010, we've learned Denisovans contributed 4 to 6% of DNA to modern Melanesians. Tibetans inherited high-altitude adaptation genes from Denisovans. Multiple interbreeding events occurred between all 3 species. This genetic legacy proves Denisovans weren't evolutionary dead ends, but contributors to modern human diversity. Some scientists propose alternative explanations. Theory 1. Modern humans made these artifacts but left no fossils. Problem: no modern human DNA in those layers. No comparable artifacts from confirmed modern human sites of that era. Theory 2. Dating errors or contamination. Problem: multiple independent dating methods confirm the ages. Soil analysis shows no later intrusions. Theory 3. Neanderthals created them. Problem: Neanderthal technology elsewhere doesn't match this sophistication. Artifacts found in Denisovan, not Neanderthal, layers. The evidence consistently points to Denisovan authorship. Environmental analysis provides additional context. During the Denisovan occupation, the Altai region experienced dramatic climate swings. Pollen analysis from the cave sediments shows alternating periods of cold steppe and warmer forest environments. The Denisovans survived through all these changes, adapting their technology and lifestyle. Animal bones found alongside the artifacts tell us what they hunted: horses, bison, deer, and even woolly rhinoceros. Cut marks on the bones show sophisticated butchering techniques. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving in one of Earth's most challenging environments. The cave itself would have been prime real estate. Its elevated position provided safety from predators and floods. The main chamber receives natural light through a ceiling opening, creating a comfortable living space. Fresh water flowed nearby in the Anhui River. For a Paleolithic group, this was luxury accommodation. If Denisovans possessed such advanced technology, it reshapes our understanding of human migration. They may have traveled farther than we thought, possibly reaching Australia before modern humans. Cognitive evolution. Symbolic thought and artistic expression weren't unique to Homo sapiens. Technological development. Innovation occurred independently in multiple human lineages. Cultural transmission. Knowledge may have passed between species through interbreeding. Questions multiply with each discovery. What other technologies did Denisovans possess? Why did their innovations disappear from the archaeological record? How did extinct humans develop capabilities rivaling or exceeding ours? What knowledge was lost when they went extinct? The investigation continues. Each summer, Russian archaeologists return to Denisova Cave. New technologies, from protein analysis to environmental DNA, promise more revelations. In 2019, the team discovered a 45,000-year-old cave lion figurine in the same archaeological layer, adding to the evidence of Denisovan artistry. In 2021, scientists successfully extracted DNA from the sediments, revealing occupation patterns invisible in the fossil record. Most recently, researchers have begun using artificial intelligence to analyze microscopic wear patterns on stone tools, revealing manufacturing techniques previously invisible to the human eye. In 2024, scientists announced that Homo longi fossils from China were actually Denisovan, expanding their known range across Asia. The Dragon Man skull from Harbin showed that Denisovans had large, robust features, quite different from our gracile modern human ancestors. Who knows what 2025's field season will reveal? International collaboration has intensified. The Russian Academy of Sciences now works with teams from Germany, Australia, the UK, and Canada. Each brings specialized expertise, from ancient DNA to microscopic analysis to climate reconstruction. This interdisciplinary approach continues to yield surprises. Professor Tom Hyam noted, "Every year we think we understand Denisova Cave, and every year it surprises us." The depth of innovation we're seeing in these early humans challenges our fundamental assumptions about cognitive evolution. Perhaps the most haunting aspect of this discovery is what it represents: an entire lineage of human innovation, creativity, and knowledge that vanished. The Denisovans mastered technologies we wouldn't rediscover for millennia. They created art, made jewelry, and sewed sophisticated clothing. They weren't primitive. They were our equals, possibly our superiors in some respects. Their extinction reminds us that progress isn't inevitable. Civilizations can rise, achieve greatness, and disappear, leaving only fragments for future detectives to puzzle over. The evidence is clear. Denisova Cave rewrites human history. 3 human species, impossible artifacts, technology before its time. The artifacts don't lie. The DNA doesn't lie. And what they tell us challenges everything we thought we knew about our origins. What's your take on this discovery? Could an extinct human species have possessed technology more advanced than our ancestors? Let me know in the comments below. For more archaeological investigations like this, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Uncover more ancient mysteries, follow the Artifacts Detective and join the investigation.